to this computer.
And then make lila.
Yeah.
Hello, Lisa. And Leela and Sari. Leona, yay.
Oh.
And
yeah,
Suni.
We're working now.
And Glenda. So happy you're here as well.
Hi, folks.
And Rod. Ella, good to see you here. And Jeremy. Yeah. So nice. And Tom. Oh, there's
There's quite a lot of us, isn't there?
Did you make Leela?
Yep.
Oh, it's perfect. So nice. Og Åsa, hej. Du er fra Norge? Åsa, er du fra Norge? Eller er du from Sverige?
Yeah, I'm from Sweden.
Oh, du muted. Oh, we can't. Just a sec. We can't hear.
Oh,
Yes. You hear me now?
okay. Can we hear you now?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hej,
I'm
Åsa.
Hi, I'm from Sweden.
From Sweden. Hejsan.
Stockholm.
Stockholm. Så trevligt.
Mm.
I think all of us are here.
All right. Is our
So-
microphone loud enough? Can you hear us okay?
Good.
Okay, thank you.
But should I start the leader and you can let people in? Okay.
Good.
Yeah, last time I threw you under the bus. So
I can let people in.
oh, perfect.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much,
Thank
Leela.
you.
Thank you. Okay, before we start, I would like first just to sit and connect a little bit. So close your eyes and make yourself comfortable. And make a deep breath in. And when you exhale, feel how your body is falling into gravity. And inhale again. And exhale. And for every exhalation you do, you feel how your body is getting more and more heavy. So you're really becoming present and aware in your body right now. I would like for you to make contact with your feet and your ankles and your knees. And your hips. And do a Kegel and make an inhalation. And feel how the energy go up the spine. And you exhale. And let go of the Kegel. And bring a focus on the front of your body. And the back of your body. And the right side of your body. And the left side of your body. And below your body. And above your body. See if you can feel into how it is sitting here in the middle of the 6 directions. And then I would like for you to bring focus to any part of your body that you feel right now. It can be tingling sensation. It can be a pain. It can be that your feet are cold or your hands are warm. So any part of your body where you feel something, I would like for you to bring your attention to that area. And if you bring your awareness more into the sensation that you feel in that area, I would like for you to imagine for your inner eye, for example, if it's your feet, imagine that you can see your feet. And if it's your arms, you have the sensation, and imagine that you can see your arms. So you kind of expand the experience and make it more clear in which body part it is you feel a sensation or pain or tingling. And I would like to bring your focus to that part of the body. But we're now removing the thought of the body. So if it was your feet you were focusing on, remove the thought of the feet and just feel the tingling sensation. If it was your back that is painful, then remove the thought or the image of the back and just feel the tingling sensation. And either you very, very clearly feel that it's just tingling sensation floating in space, not connected to anything. Or you might just have it in glimpses, that it's like the body part come in and out of existence. But just sit for a moment and notice how much do you actually feel and how much do you think you feel. Okay, make a deep breath and make contact with your shoulders, your neck, your face, and your eye socket. Same thing when you think about the area. Is it actually your shoulders, your neck, your face, and the eye socket, or is it a thought about it? And when you're sitting here with your eyes closed, how do you actually know that there's anyone in front of you or anyone as you? Can that be experienced without a thought? Okay, make a deep breath in. Open your eyes, move your body if you need to. And be surprised if there are actually people sitting in front of you. So nice to see all of you.
So I think we should also recap that for anybody, we have a little disclaimer in the beginning, but the disclaimer that's running is actually for your Q&A,
Oh,
not
okay.
for this group. So the session is being recorded and it'll be public on YouTube. If you have something that you want to bring up and discuss, but you know ahead that you don't want it to be on YouTube, just let us know and we can pause the recording while you speak. And then if you realize just afterwards that you really don't want the thing to be publicized, just send a message through the chat or something and let us know, and then we won't do it. But just to let you know, because we do like to do extracts of talks that seem to be helpful for other people, and we can actually change your voice and remove your image and something like that. So if you don't mind it being up just anonymized, that would also be wonderful. So
It's super, super helpful. There's not many people that are sitting through these 2-3 hour meetings. Not many people do that. If you're one of the oddballs that do, then welcome to the club.
thank you.
But yeah, thank you for that. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people only watch the extract or the bite size. So it's really, really helpful if we can use the conversations that we have, and then we just, yeah, disguise you, make you anonymous.
Thank you. Thanks, Leila. And we had somebody who was trying to get in and the link wasn't working apparently. So I just wrote to them and said
Okay.
to try again. We're
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
All right. So for anybody who is new, basically you can just raise your virtual hand and ask any sort of question. And, you're free to bring up anything and we will answer questions, do inquiries, whatever you need. So,
Yeah, this is on Fridays we have the Q&A, which is very much about the curriculum, how you do it, and yeah, different advice regarding that. And today it's more specifically about inquiry. We have Glenda.
yes. All right. If we pin us first, I think then we stay in the same spot too.
Yeah.
No, wait, if you pin us first. Pin and now Glenda. Glenda, where did you go?
Here.
You see?
Number
There
2,
it is.
yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
So good to see you, Glenda.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Lots of little shifts that are exciting. When I spoke with you on Friday, we talked about, working under Fetter 2 and on boundaries. And oh, my goodness, so just that day, an incident came up and I set a boundary. And what was amazing about it is that I recognized the body, no, I do not want to do this. So, and then the next day, another incident came up and it was a clear too, body, no. Now, what I wasn't prepared for was
I know what you're going to say, the guilt.
the aftermath
Yeah.
of the ego mind. But what it was showing me, so the aftermath that came in was, why did I do that? What is wrong with me? And my friends won't like me, and I don't have that many friends, so I can't be, pushing them away like that or saying no to them. But anyway, what was coming up, instead of, there was definitely shame and guilt and all that, but there was also something else like, wow, that's what's been hiding all this time. Like you talk in your videos about being an anthropologist.
Yes.
And all of a sudden there was a space here to look at what was arising instead of being afraid of it. And there was an incident yesterday. It was really interesting. I was looking on my bank accounts, and there was a particular money that was coming due, and I needed a new interest rate. And I emailed my financial planner. And I got an email back saying she's no longer there, and she gave me 2 other numbers. And those 200 numbers were invalid. By 9 in the morning, I had ran to the bank and demanded to see this financial planner. And I was sitting in front of her going, what happened? You move, and she got a promotion, right? So, but what was happening with me was I was sitting in front of her, and I noticed this little girl going, inside was going, you abandoned me. I'm feeling rejected. And it was the weirdest sensation to feel this terror of not knowing who's going to take care of me.
Mm.
And just a piddly little amount of money, but it was huge.
Yes.
And I sat in front of this financial planner, like pushing down the tears, like it was some dramatic event. And what was here, where it used to be like total shame for feeling things like this, now there was the anthropologist going, holy cow, look what's coming up. And I walked away from that bank and I went, wow, this is just magnificent to
Yeah.
begin to see
Yes.
from a different place. And this is just the beginning. And of course I'm going to get, of course I'm going to get caught in it again. But there's something about working the fetters. It feels safe
Yes.
Yeah.
as you do layers like
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So I can,
And also you did it so beautifully, what we keep talking about, that when you discover something, you don't need to do anything about it. The only thing you need to do is just create space around it and just be with it and just be with it and just be with it. And that's all. And for our entire lives, for like 40 years, 50 years, we've been pushing away the feeling of shame, or the feeling of, I can't say what I want or what I need because people would leave me. So just allowing that to be there and experiencing, how is my life when that is active, when I'm just sitting with it. And then you find out, first of all, you're not dying. Everything is completely fine. And second of all, the feeling when it first arose in you, you didn't have the maturity to sit with it. You didn't have the psychological maturity or the emotional maturity to sit with it. You do now, which means that you don't need to push it anymore. You can just be the adult that you have needed all along, and then you just sit with it. And it's beautiful when we experience that, because it, exactly like you say, it makes it feel so safe.
yeah, it is just amazing. It's like, it feels like I'm becoming unhypnotized.
Yes, that's a really good way of seeing it. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've been living in this hypnotic world of
Of avoidance, of all the things we avoid to feel. Yeah.
And the fact that all of these things are, whatever it was in the past, that when you first felt these sensations, that has just been running the show ever since, and that you just haven't been aware of that motivation has been sort of subconsciously just moving everything in your interactions with everybody since then.
right. Yeah. And at the same time, I this morning I was experiencing this fear of coming up about being unhypnotized.
About actually having to interact with things fresh and from a new perspective, where everything's kind of uncertain because you really don't know how you're going to react to anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing to do with that either, just to be with it. Yeah.
No. And it's, like Pernille said, like knowing that you're now the adult in the room, that you can be the guardian that younger version needed, but recognizing also that you have the capacity to deal with anything now that comes up. That it's having that sort of self-trust that no matter what arises, that you'll be able to meet that challenge, meet whatever's there, without feeling like you're still interacting with the world through the lens of a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Really, really well done. I'm
yeah,
so happy to hear that.
yeah.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Yeah.
And I was curious too, just when you had said about, the thing about, will your friends leave you? You don't have that many friends, all of that. How did that work out for you? You had the things come up, the recognition of those fears come up, and what happened with that?
Some space opened up and I was willing to allow my friends to leave me.
Mm.
And one made contact since as if nothing happened. And the other, is a work in progress, but that's another story. But no, there was just this opening that came that if everybody leaves me, that's okay.
Mm.
It's also the part about you knowing that you're not leaving you. So and knowing that if other people leave you, it's not about you. It's not your decision if they want to stay or if they don't want to stay. It's not your decision. You can't do anything that makes them stay. If they want to leave, they will leave. So
And thank you
not
for
about
saying
you.
that. Yeah, thank you, because that just connected why I was okay with letting them go, because I made contact with myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're completely fine. Completely
Yeah.
fine. If they leave, you're here. It's a
Yeah.
bit the same way when I have had people that have been in a marriage and then the partner has cheated, something like that, and the marriage has broken up, and the part that is left have the feeling, I do not dare to love again because I'm afraid that, that I'm just going to attract the same partner, that the same thing is just going to happen to me. So I don't dare doing that. Where it's very important to emphasize that it's not so much about the quality of the partner. It's more, do you trust you to leave a relationship if it's not beneficial? Do you trust you to be there for you if you are left? It's more about having the focus here, because we can't put that on other people. They have to be free to move in life as they want to do. But as long as you got your back, like Todd says, that you're the adult in the room, then it's completely fine. And other people are free to do as they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's not about you, no matter what they do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Love it. I'm
Amazing.
so happy you're here. If you go to the front.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, I have no idea what I just did. Not sure if that translated to everybody else's view or not, but
Do you want me to take over?
I think I might. Oh no, okay, I did it. Okay, this is really weird. Okay,
You
so
with it, Suni, didn't you?
Debbie, well, she disappeared. Suni, did you were I saw that your
Yeah.
hand was raised and then like
If you
you just
click on the
disappeared.
blue. There we go, Suni.
Okay, there you are. Okay, because I think your hand was raised first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Fine.
Good seeing you.
So
I'm
good.
fine, thank you.
Good.
I have well, I find it really hard to be vulnerable with others
Mm.
because it really puts me out in a position where I don't like to be. Because I think I'm really afraid that it can be used against me, that it will come back on me in instances. And I had an instance with my daughter, she's 20, and I didn't have an instance with it, but with her, but I know that I'm having it really difficult when she is not happy. And by happy, I just mean that she's not chipping in on the good thought of the good spirit at home. She doesn't like mornings, so she's not a morning person. And I really find it difficult because when I cannot make other people happy and when they are not happy, then I feel threatened. Because from my childhood, that was not a safe thing. So having this good spirit around is sort of like the safe place to be. And I have found out that this is how I feel and this is how it is for me. And I discussed with my group here in Denmark if I should I talk to my daughter about it? Should I just leave it and know for myself that it is that? And one of them, she actually advised me to, I think you should talk to her because she needs to know what you're going through and she needs to sort of be able to be in that situation as well. So I was really having a hard time of going to her and say, this is why I feel threatened, because I have at first said to myself that I don't want to put this on her. That is my first reaction, that I shouldn't put extra things on her. But I know that it's more because I'm afraid myself that at some other point it will be used against me and say, oh, but you're also just so, and I cannot just. And yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So I did actually talk to her very briefly. But it is difficult and she doesn't like to talk about feelings, and I just don't know if it is the right thing. I really don't want to burden her, and I know it's probably also because I don't want to burden other people, because I don't want to take up space. So it's probably also, yeah. So it's this vulnerability, and I'm aware that I should not just go out and shout it out on my workplace, etc., because it is personal, etc. But she is like a really close person to me, of course. But does it help her or doesn't it help her? Which is sort of my, and how to go about this fear I have in me for being vulnerable.
Yeah, I think it's two things, and if we split it up. So the first thing I want to say that I really like that you completely acknowledge that it's yours. You have this idea that you are vulnerable and you need to be careful for other people not to find out that you're vulnerable, because then they will use it against you. That's just, an old pattern. That was how you were raised in your family. That was the dynamic in your family. And therefore it's such a foundational toxic starting point in you that you believe that vulnerable people, they get eaten. You really, really have to be careful. I think it would be a good idea to, do an inquiry. Would you say about that, or what would you?
Yeah. I mean, I think addressing also just briefly I would say that it's hard to say what for your daughter would be, best for her in this situation, because I don't know your daughter.
And she's not here.
Exactly. And she's not here.
Yeah.
So I would be uncomfortable addressing that. But
Yeah.
When you had said about, worrying about putting it on your daughter, and so you didn't know whether to talk to her, ironically, you are already putting it on her when you are feeling that insecurity of needing for her to be different than she is. But it's even worse because without talking to her, now you're putting on that expectation for her to be away without her even knowing that she's doing it for some reason, or that you're expecting her to be a certain way. So
it's part of that delusion that if you don't talk with her about it, then she doesn't know what is wrong. And if you do talk with her, then you have a hidden expectation about her changing her behavior in the morning, because you talked about it. You told her that you like her to be happy in the morning, and that is unfair to her. She's not allowed to be cranky pot in the morning. So it's you are the situation hasn't changed if you told her or if you haven't told her. That situation hasn't changed at all, because it's still you having an issue with people being a cranky pot in the morning. You know?
But can't I think I have to learn to be around people that are like that without feeling frightened.
Allowing them to be as they are. And like we talked
Yes.
with Glenda just before, that it's more about you knowing that no matter how many angry people you have around you or threatening people you have around you right now, you're the adult in your room for you. And you are now the adult that your child, you as a child, would have benefited immensely having around.
Yeah.
The version you are now would have been amazing for little Sunni, you know? So, yeah. So you knowing that no matter how many cranky pots you surround yourself with, or how many alcoholics or threatening people or you surround yourself with, you're safe. You know what to do. You stay here at any point. You know that when you feel a boundary, this is not okay, then you can say stop, ask them to leave, or you leave. So it's that you having the safety in you of taking care of you, and that in that you allow you to be as you are, and you allow other people to be as they are.
So the ideal is not to be able to be like, let's say, in a in a party full of drunken people where I don't really like it. So that's not the idea of me to be confident in that space. The idea is for me to be able to say, I take care of myself and I leave because I don't like this.
At any point, and that changes all the time, because you might feel completely fine with drunk people New Year's Eve, but you do not feel fine with drunk people on a random Thursday night. So you're allowed to change your opinion. You're allowed to be vulnerable, more vulnerable some days and less vulnerable other days. You're allowed to change your opinion all the time. It's not like when you've said A, you said B. It's not how reality is. So you feeling that it's okay that she's a cranky pot this morning, yesterday wasn't, today it's fine. You're allowed to change.
Okay. It's sort of because I have difficulty seeing where's the end point. When have I completed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not like
Yeah,
that.
it's not like that. It's
No.
you, as long as you still believe in your thoughts, that is what I would recommend you to work with. The next part is to work with that you no longer believe in your thoughts, and then looking into that you believe in your feeling and your emotions.
Yes.
And then when you no longer believe in your feeling and emotions, you can pull yourself up and be an anthropologist and look at any situation and adapt at anything, because there's no you involved in it. It's just an observation of what is happening around you, and you are not threatened in any way. I feel we lost you.
No, you didn't.
Good.
I just I don't really know what to say. Yeah. I find it hard these days, because many days, because it's like it's like the layer outside of me is so thin.
Yeah. Is that okay?
It is. I cannot make it thicker. Yeah.
Are you supposed to?
No, it is like it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you be in a body where there's a very thin layer? Because it all comes down to how it feels to be in the body. Whenever we want to control things out there, it's actually not about anything out there. It's about how that feels in here. So it's about you having a feeling in you that you do not want to stay with. So you have to stop doing what you're doing, so I don't feel like I feel right now.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep asking, can you be in a body that feels like, like that?
I well, I don't know to say if it's assumed, but I mean, I think if it was totally impossible for me to be in this situation, I wouldn't stay in the meetings.
Mm.
Then I would have turned off and said, this is not something for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sense that there is an attraction saying that this is needed and this is the time.
Yeah.
But it's so it's so difficult to find the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Go on.
ahead,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that it's actually quite easy because it's just keep coming back to the
Yeah.
body. You're not looking for anything outside of you. You're looking for something inside of you and just staying with whatever comes up inside of you. And that's why it's easy, because the only thing you have to do is just stay with it, not do anything, but just stay with it, not add more thoughts to it, not add small stories about it, but just staying with it and staying with it and staying with it. So when you feel tears running down your face, you don't need to create a story about why you're crying. It's just tears running down your face. It's just a wetness that's coming out of your eyes. Something in the body is releasing while we're talking about it. You don't need to create a story about anything. It's just what is happening. Just like if you hear the neighbors coming home, you don't need to do anything about it. You just hear something.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Can
it
you
feels overwhelming.
Yes.
can you walk me through what happens like in the morning, say if you're in a situation and your daughter or somebody else is there and they're being cranky and you feel uncomfortable in that situation, what is actually happening in that moment of discomfort?
It feels like I'm not living up to the things I want to be able to give to others.
Can you
I want to feel happiness myself, maybe because I already do feel happy. So when I don't see it reflected in others, then it's like I'm wrong, I have to be different, I did something wrong, or basically you could say for her, maybe it's also because I don't get the love that I feel that I would really like in that moment
okay,
because I'm not having the confirmation.
so there are a lot of things in there where to begin with, I would say, there might be an undercurrent of wanting that love and that validation from the other person in there. But how is that manifesting in your body? How is that manifesting in your actual experience in that moment before you go to the stories of why it's happening and maybe I'm not being, maybe I'm wrong in this situation. What's happening in the body before those thoughts come online?
I see her face. I see that um, she's not vibrating, welcoming, and I feel rejected. I feel like I'm not met.
So you see another person there, and the first thing is that you're interpreting the way that she feels because you don't actually know how she feels. Maybe
No.
her face is just one way, but inside she could be full of joy, but you just don't see it reflected. So there's the
Yeah.
assumption that what you're seeing there is is the truth, but what you're actually seeing is this reflection of you. And what is it then when you're seeing her and you're feeling that she's not full of joy? Maybe I'm wrong about something, that she needs to be different than she is. What is that saying about you at that moment?
It feels like it's bouncing back on me.
It is.
Yeah. And what is going on in your body when all of that is happening? Because so far I've heard your visual experience and your thought experience, but I haven't heard any bodily sensations.
It's like the body is being dragged down. It's it feels heavy on the inside. I feel, and that is again a thought, I feel like I need to walk on eggshells.
So what is it about the heaviness that is itself really uncomfortable? Why is that feeling upsetting to the point where you feel like you need to do something about it?
Heavy is opposed to light.
Mm,
Um, I can't say why heavy doesn't feel good, but when I'm sad and when I sit now, it's sort of like the heavy feeling is inside of the chest in the middle, that
mm,
it drags downwards.
mm. And when that happens, if it's there right now even, can you sit with that sensation in the chest, with that dragging feeling? And can you feel, first of all, what comes up when you feel into that? Does anything pop to mind? Do you get any sort of memories, impressions, thoughts?
It feels like the shoulders are, I would say nervous, but it's like the shoulders are, I would say that the shoulders are sort like, I need to be smaller. I
Mm,
need to disappear. I
mm,
need to not be there.
yeah.
Uh,
Now you've said about not being able to take up space or it not being okay for you to be in the room.
yeah, I I don't want to be there
And why is that? Why do you have that feeling?
because I don't feel safe.
Mm.
I don't feel certain. Um, I don't know what to do.
Why would your daughter smiling make you safe in a way that her not smiling doesn't?
Because that I can read and understand.
Mm. So it's the ambiguity of not being able to tell what emotion she's feeling at the moment that feels unsafe?
Um, I is it the ambiguity, the doubleness?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that you don't know for sure what she's feeling. If it's not, if it's really obvious that she's smiling, then you know she's happy. But if she just has a blank look on her face, is it that you don't really know exactly what she's thinking or how she's feeling?
yes. And what I read into that is
Exactly.
that I don't know and I don't know what to do.
The,
I
but
don't know what to expect.
yeah, and the reading in is that she's not happy and that you're not safe because you don't know what to expect. Um, there's the idea that we need to know what's going on in somebody else's mind for us to be safe is ultimately problematic because we can't always tell, for one thing. Even when a person is smiling, we don't know if we can trust that.
She's happy.
Yeah, you really don't know that that's has anything to do with how she really feels inside. And just because she's not smiling doesn't tell you anything. So having that confidence that we've been talking about, that you are able to um, support yourself through whatever emotion she's in, puts her in a place where she has the freedom to be exactly who she is in the moment. And it gives you the freedom to be with her no matter what emotion she's feeling, because you're okay with you. Um, I can share a story that, if it helps, the sort of thing, because back years ago, I was, deeply agoraphobic, had serious anxiety disorders, and something that I found back then was if I was in a situation like I hated elevators, I was terrified by them. I hated any closed in place like a monorail or a train, something like that. And there was always this fear that I would be getting stuck. And I felt very vulnerable and very weak and scared in that situation. But I recognized that if there were children around, if there was somebody who was in a more vulnerable position than me, I would take on, like internally, I would feel that sort of paternal protective thing kick in. And I would know that if that elevator broke down or the train, or the monorail got stuck or something, that I would be in the comforting, protecting role for them because that was also a capacity that I had. And that being in that moment took away that feeling of vulnerability and that feeling of fear that I had, because all of a sudden I was in a completely different role that I was completely capable of doing. The anxiety itself was a false limitation. And the truth of it was that if something had happened, I would have been completely able to take care of the situation. And so it's for you realizing that you can be in either of those roles. And right now, your default is coming back to that younger, more vulnerable, fragile person. But at the same time, I'm looking at a Sunni who is more than capable of being the guardian, being the protector in that situation, and having the love and compassion for that vulnerable Sunni that's in there, for that vulnerable feeling in the chest, for that vulnerable sadness, but also having the ability to completely be in a room with other people who are not happy and knowing that you have the tools to be able to, as Pernille said, either be with them, or if you feel like it's crossing a boundary that you just, something is unsafe here, then being able to extract yourself from the situation because you have that ability now.
Yeah.
So, what we talk about of coming back and, for one thing, healing it with love, because when you're in that situation and you're feeling the discomfort in the body, the heaviness, the pulling into the chest, the sadness, the fear because you don't really know what is going on in the room or how how other people are feeling on the inside, have instead the first thing we do is we usually run away from that feeling and we feel some sort of antagonism towards it. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel this heaviness. So turn that around and bring love to that vulnerable spot, because you didn't choose for that pain to be there. You didn't choose for that anxiety to be there. So you can, coming from the fifth floor view, coming from the guardian perspective, be with that feel the compassion and the love for that pain that didn't ask to be there and it's there, and then make yourself bigger than it, so that you have all of the room and all of the capacity and space for that sensation to still be there without it being overwhelming, like you said it was, so that it's not the only thing in the room. We want to have a whole room full of space with a little kernel of uncomfortable sensation in there, but all of this room around it that is also as much you as that little discomfort. And when you get locked into the stories of I'm here, feeling this sensation, I'm feeling vulnerable in this situation, it contracts you down to being just that discomfort. And right? Like it doesn't really feel like there's anything else there. So bringing to mind your awareness to the space around that, and while giving love and allowing that to just be there as long as it needs to be there. That can go a long way towards healing that sort of fear.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did tell her that is, but I also really emphasized that I know this is mine, and I'm not
Yeah.
asking her to be any kind of different. I know this is mine, and this is what I'm in the process of coping with.
Yeah.
So it's not like I say to her, you need to be different,
No,
because I know it's not.
I'm also saying I'm a huge fan of turning a situation around like a Rubik's Cube to see what it's really about. So when you look at her and you think she's not happy, then turn it around to I'm not happy. Is that the issue? Is it really about you in you not being happy? You can turn it around to she is happy, because how do you know? How do you know that her face, like Todd was talking about, how do you know that when she looks like that has anything to do with happiness at all? It could just be her morning face. But you're putting a lot, projecting a lot into her. So turn it around. Whatever thought comes up, turn it around, She's not happy. I'm not happy. Okay, so it's about me not being happy. Am I that vulnerable right now that she needs to be happy too, because I haven't got the surplus also to make her happy? Do I need to make her happy? Can I just allow her to be? And like Todd just talked about, then, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's so good seeing you, Sue.
Yeah. Looking
Thanks.
forward to the next episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I am going to jump away for 30 seconds and I'll be right back. Hey, Lisa.
You're not going outside.
Huh?
You're not going outside.
Just wanted to grab the,
No.
we have issues lately around.
Yeah, you're not going outside. It's a Christmas present. You're not going outside.
We had a delivery and the door is like right there and I was just gonna grab it
Yeah,
because
you're
there have
not-
been like a rash of porch pirates
Yeah.
around lately.
They're not stealing this one.
I think it's like vitamins or something, actually. Apparently we're just gonna leave it out there.
If it's your Christmas present, you can't go out and pick it up.
Okay, that's fair.
If it's vitamins, it's just vitamins.
We will sit with the ambiguity.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm totally okay with
Okay. Okay. Private matter sorted.
that.
Back onto you guys.
How are you feeling in your body right now, Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you
Can
pee
I
in a
can I
body?
pee in a body where there's yeah.
Thank you for that, Lisa.
Yeah. We're good.
Oh, goodness.
So how have you been? Haven't seen you in a while.
You guys are cracking me up. Good examples of the ways of being with each other. I've been great. And also, like when stuff is happening. And it's all very exciting. It's a lot of stuff is opening up, so things are coming up that maybe haven't been seen before, and there's a realization, it would seem, that there's some stuff trapped. So I'm kind of in a very vulnerable place of trying to allow whatever's trapped to have a little spokesmanship or something, I suppose you could say. And one of the reasons that this really started to sink in was I was at the retreat up in Boone, North Carolina with Angelo DeLillo last week, and it was really fabulous.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Blow your mind good. And he talked about towards the middle to the end of the retreat about being in a situation where you start to pop in and out of non-duality. This is my own interpretation of the way he put it, but I'm feel certain. That's the way what he was referring to, where you actually see and feel and understand some really different ways of being, and you can like, oh my God, that's it. That it's the truth. It feels so, it resonates at such a level. It's undeniable.
Mm.
And then boom, you're back kind of in the old way of being, and that keeps happening. And he said, if that's where you find yourself, then what you need to get into the deep emotion work. That's where the binding is. And I was like, oh hell yes, right. So I've been really working with that. And there was another video that he cut talking about some different inquiry questions you can ask yourself if you do find yourself in that type of a situation. And one of them was, what do I take myself to be? Mm. And I heard it, and I didn't really dig in at that moment, but I went back and found that inquiry question and wrote it down, and without putting any thought into it, I just sat there with it. It was like, oh, I think I'm somebody that knows something, which was really shocking. It was kind of shocking in a way, but it was great because it felt so honest, because it came out of nowhere. It came out of left field, and it was loud and resonant. It was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I thought, so, okay, there's a belief. How is that belief operating in my life, that things are showing up to show me that I have that belief and it's not true, right? So I would go back and I looked at some different situations, and the realization is that the times when I can recall feeling the most vulnerable is similar to what the gal right before me is, when the situation presents itself and like, I don't have any idea what's going to happen next. And it's frightening, or even causes, at one point this year when I was at a retreat, something happened that caused like total disassociation.
Mm.
And clearly there was a totally not knowing what the heck was going on, right? And so that's kind of where I am. And so listening to the gal before, it was helpful. Anyway, I don't really know what my question is, other than, just to ask you guys what your thoughts are on that. And maybe I should speak of, I don't know that it's really necessary to talk about a specific situation. I don't know.
No, I actually have something to say already now about the thing where you have that total disassociation, and something happens and you're completely startled and you don't know what to do. And it doesn't matter if it's in a car accident, or if it's in an elevator that is stuck, or if it's having parcels out on the deck and
Not that bad.
no, but but something, or pain in the body, or anything like that, where we feel there's a hook into something and we don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
The issue is very often that we believe that this is forever. I'm forever gonna be in pain. I'm forever gonna be heartbroken. I'm forever gonna be disassociated. It's forever. It's gonna be like that, and it's not. It's not even for the next 5 years, or the next 1 year, or the next hour. It's just now. It's just now. Can I be with it right now? I can. Okay. Can I be with it right now? I can. So you keep doing a reboot over and over and over. And by doing that, you, at the same time, and this is what is so mind-boggling about this whole time thing, that even though we do a reboot and it's now, and it's now, and it's now, when we are in a now and we just allow that to completely expand, it becomes into eternity. It's very seventh fetter-ish. But so, and that is where you get the confidence in it. Because when you see, okay, it's not forever, it's not for the next 5 years. I'm not going to be in pain for the next 5 years, or be disassociated for the next 5 years, or the next year, or the next hour. It's just now. Can I be disassociated right now? Well, apparently I could. I now have a memory about way back when, here 2 seconds ago, when I was completely disassociated and I was just present and aware in it, and I didn't die, and it was completely fine. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. So can I be disassociated? I could. And when you allow yourself to do that, you kind of slow down, and it starts to expand. So eternity is in that moment, if that makes any sense. And that is where
Sure.
that is where it starts to really, expand. And no matter what comes your way, you can be with it in eternity, because that is this single moment, in a
Sure.
split second. That is where the entire eternity is. So it goes from a thought of a long time, which we can't, into what actually a long time is. And then you find out that it's completely doable.
Sure. That's great. That's very that hits right at it. It's interesting that I went from what I asked you to that, because it seems like they're very different topics. But yeah, yeah, because Angelo talked about how a lot of times the underlying belief under these kinds of momentums is, I can't handle it.
Yes.
Wow.
And the thought of, I can't handle it, like it'll keep happening. I'll always have this pain or discomfort or this
Yeah.
confusion or this like deer caught in the headlights feeling. Which yeah, that's really
Which is
great.
that the only thing you can't handle is the thought about it.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
The thing you can handle is just staying with it without any thoughts about it, but just staying in it. And then you can feel that, oh, clearly I could. I have a pain in my entire body. I can't be in this body with all this pain. Okay, I could. I just were.
Right,
It,
right, right.
the
Exactly.
problem is when we start to project it into a thought about the pain,
Mhm.
and I
Sure,
can't
sure.
live with this thought about the pain for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But that is never the case. You don't need to live with the thought about the pain. You just release the thought
Absolutely.
about it.
Right, right. And then back to that original belief, or yeah, the belief that apparently I have about myself is that I'm someone that knows. But
Yeah.
it was so interesting because when we were doing a Byron Katie meeting recently, that one of the beliefs that we decided to do as a group was, I can know, the belief I can know.
Mm.
And as I went through it, it became very clear. At one point, I heard the voice say, I can know that I don't know. And I was like, holy crap. It's like the double whammy, right? And then the whole thing felt like it collapsed on each other. But subsequently, this, where the question was, who do you take yourself to be? It popped up. And so apparently that belief is still in there, that I can know. Um, and at the same time, it's so frigging obvious that I absolutely can't know anything. And so these competing
Mm.
agendas are like, I don't know, they feel just, ugh. They make me, I just had a like a Kundalini thing just talking about it. Like my whole body's wanting to unwind the damn thing.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know where to go with it. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Lisa,
Yeah.
with that belief that you are, one who knows, what is
Hmm.
underlying the need for that to be true, or the wanting for that to be true?
I don't think there's a want. Well, I think it's an old thing about being accepted and being worthwhile, that I have information or value. It's a value based, yeah, stuff like that. It's
Because
old. It's old.
And if you really gave up the idea that you know absolutely anything, the idea that you could possibly know anything, what comes up with that thought, positive or negative? Does anything pop up with the idea that I can absolutely never know anything?
Actually feels very positive.
Good.
It feels really opening. It feels freeing. It feels like, oh my God, all the binding would fall into oblivion. That's the way it feels.
Good.
Yeah.
So what could possibly know anything? What is
Hell if I know.
in that moment, feeling that freedom, that openness, that everything
Mm.
just falling away into oblivion, what is there left in that moment? If you say that again to yourself, and then feel what comes up, that I absolutely can never know anything for sure. And then see what comes up, and then look in that experience for what could possibly still be in there that could be anything that would know something. What would that concept even mean from that space?
it wouldn't make any sense. They
Huh.
even answered that question. It doesn't fit anything.
Good. Is there the idea of even knowing something has to be questioned. There's obviously we have the we can do the cognitive exercise of recognizing that we have no idea what's coming in the next moment. We don't know what the next words are that are coming out of our mouths, any of that. But the question, one layer deeper than that, is what is the knowing? Knowing implies a knower.
Mm.
Knowing implies that there is still something there that knows something, even if, as you said, it's the fact that I can never know anything. That still implies a knower who knows that fact. So what
That's
in that space could even be misconstrued as a knower?
it just doesn't feel like it makes sense. I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
So if at any point you get that feeling of the idea that there is something there to know or to be known, that there is someone in there who could still know something, turn that around and investigate into what it could possibly be that actually knows anything. What is taking in information and then storing it and accessing it and recalling it
As if it's true.
as if it's true? What is
Yeah,
that
that's
experience?
yeah, that's that little residual, like, thingy that was ever part of such a big part of everything,
Mm.
Yeah.
sort of lurking around, waiting. Even the idea, like I'm realizing now, this when I ask myself the question, um, who do you take yourself to be? That oh, I can be somebody that knows something. That's just a thought that popped up. It doesn't have any relevance, really.
Well, it popped up because there's something there that still believes it. There's
That's just it. There
something.
is
Yeah.
there is, and it's like when you were talking earlier, I thought, well, I can know that I'm cold. That's what
Yes.
popped up.
There's there's we could
Something that I feel like I am a lot is cold.
but in that moment of feeling like you know that you're cold,
Yeah.
check into the raw experiences. You feel something that we call cold, right? Which by itself you can also analyze down to what is even that. But even staying
Right.
at the level of label there, I feel something, we're calling that cold. What is it that is recognizing that feeling? What is separate from that feeling? And knowing that you're cold, it implies that there is cold over here, and then there's a witness, a knower of that cold all around it,
And a future that is warm.
and a future that is warm. Yeah, that there's any current. So where is that? Where is that thing that's separate from the experience of that cold sensation?
It's just the whole thing's friggin' hilarious. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
And also there's another layer to it, because are you really cold? Are you really
Well, that
cold?
was another thing I was going to say right now when I.
Exactly. If you deduct like 5 degrees more from the temperature you have right now, are you then cold, or are you actually quite warm
Yeah,
compared to
yeah, it's true.
something that's colder?
Well, not only that, but like what I was noticing was, well, I am a little chilly right now. And then I thought, well, no, wait a second. What am I? And then I noticed that the body's actually having a kind of a reaction to the conversation that's more, it's not coldness.
Yes.
It's a
Interesting.
different kind of, some type of a vibratory thing that's happening that, you could call it cold, but it definitely could be anxiousness or a little bit of
There we go.
confusion or a lot of questioning or like
Yes.
Yeah.
of not knowing. It could even be not knowing. I don't, there's no way to really know what it is because the sensation doesn't actually have a label. It's
No,
other than a
Exactly.
sensation. Yeah.
And it might also be that when you then acknowledge that, okay, I'm clearly not cold now because I can be colder, so I can't be cold now, then what is it? I've removed now the label of cold. So what am I actually experiencing? Oh, I'm quite anxious. Oh, I'm anxious. So, and then you do the same thing with anxiousness and feeling into that, because there's always a more convenient label on something that is inconvenient. So we call it something because it's much nicer to talk about I'm cold than talking about being super, super uncomfortable or super, super anxious or something underneath. And that keeps being a layer. Then you remove that label and there's something underneath that. And it keeps going and going and going.
Because that's just happening as you talk. And like the label of anxious came off and it turned into excitement. Then it turned into laughter. I was like, I don't have any idea what this going on. It's just
It's
all
just
here.
sensation, and it's basically a program that's been running to try to create sense out of chaos. And it's been very good at it. You know, you've navigated this whole world in a way that's been functional, but
Well, I'm still alive.
exactly,
I
exactly.
think.
Exactly. I mean, on a very practical level, it's helpful to know if your body is becoming hypothermic and you need to do something to become warmer. So there are practical values to that kind of awareness of, ooh, I think my hand is getting frostbite. I think I should probably go and buy a fire. You know, like there's a practical level to that, but on the other side of that, that same mechanism is being used for all of these emotions, for all of these assumptions about what's actually going on in our experience, to in a way that completely clouds our experience of what's really going on, and it creates all of these narratives and storylines that aren't really there. It's just warning you that, you know, you need a jacket, you know, or not. Or in some cases it is like you just discovered that that's just a really convenient label for feelings of unease or feeling like
Mhm.
something is changing and you can't put a finger on it. So this is the closest label that seems to come close to something I've experienced before. So it must
Right.
be.
I can nail it down for a second maybe and feel more comfortable, but yeah, it's becomes quite clear pretty quickly that nailing things down don't make you more comfortable.
No, it is not. But notice also the automaticity of those labels. That it's not that you're choosing to think. There's no thinker, there's no Lisa in there who's going,
Yeah.
I am cold, I am feeling this. Oh no, no, I am excited. Oh no, 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 I'm actually quite anxious. No, no, I am like those are just labels that are coming up and then being basically being taken on by other thoughts that are believing them, but it's not pointing back to anything real.
No, 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 no. Yeah, it's a movement. It's like this idea that of a new movement. Oh, then you can claim it. Like then the ego can claim you again. It can claim
Yeah.
this. Yeah, it's quite clear that it's so interesting how it can become it's so crystal clear just how weird thought is and how unnecessary it's not saying anything, it's not telling you anything, it's just happening.
Mm.
And it isn't about anybody either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good to see that and then to keep seeing that.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. Wow, yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Always so good.
Thank you guys. That's fun.
Thank you. That's amazing. Really good seeing. And I'm glad the retreat went well.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a very energetic retreat. People were having a interesting time. It's very, very, I recommend his retreats to anybody out there that thinks they
Wonderful.
might.
Amazing. Amazing. Love it so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you.
Uh, Hey, Debbie. Look at me
Yay.
pinning like a pro.
I know.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey,
How are you?
lovely. I'm okay. I don't even know exactly what's going to tumble out here like this, but I know I want to say this to Glenda. I want to say that like this to me being badass is like the highest compliment. Okay, and it's like freaking badass that you came and just said, you know what? I think I'm a passive aggressive bully, and you like said in the sweetest voice, and like this is me. I think that's me, and like who like I think I am too. Like, so that's the thing. And I don't know, I could say that if I didn't have your inspiring example. So I just want to put that out there. I think it's important. Jahida, like, kind of been very gentle and sweet with me, and it means something to me. So I just, anyway, so I just, yeah, I just want to say that.
Love that.
And yeah, so the next thing, like, and I was saying, Jesus, I hope I don't cry again. But anyway, the next, I think that, like, related to that is like this, like, all right, this, like, that whole piece of like those types, and, you know, don't identify, but, you know, and you're going to see yourself in all of them. And yeah, and I'd rather be just a bully, I think, you know, like that combination of whatever they are, adjectives and nouns, it's like they're just like, oh, I want to be that passive aggressive and a bully. Like, come on. But then there was that thing you say, the antidote was like, I love myself, I matter,
Yes.
right? And like, I tried that on for size, and I was like, I want to throw up. Like, that is like that, like, you know, I would rather say I'm safe. Like, yeah, I need to feel safe. Yeah, I'm safe. I can say that. Like, and I don't even like, I love myself. Like, can I say I love you looking at my heart? Because, you know, and I know I'm a sovereign individual, I can do what I want, but I'm just like looking for recommendations. All right, I'm gonna shut up because I talk too much too. But...
Was it a question?
Yeah.
I didn't hear a question.
Yeah. That whole thing you say, and if you think I'm not like ready to say it, like, that's cool too. Like, you know, like, just like trust like what you're ready for. But like, you know, like, I don't, like, I can't say I love I can't just like, like, some things feel so freaking fake, right? Like, I never liked those positive thinking things, like, you know, before I even knew about non-dual and all that. Because it was like always like, I'm not telling a lie to myself. Like, I'm not going to say this day is great and I feel good and I can meet the day. Like, all you know, they had these literal post-it notes you would try to, like, in the mirror say. I could never.
Yeah, I completely get. I have the same issue with that toxic positivity. You know, it doesn't seem healthy to me in any way, and it's just like a lie. If you don't feel that
That's
you
what
love
it feels like.
yourself,
Yeah.
if you don't feel that you love yourself, and you don't feel that you matter, and you don't feel, you know, any of that, then pretending that you do, it's just a lie. It's just a lie.
Yeah.
So instead
Yeah.
of pretending that is the case, then can you find things about you that you appreciate, that you think is okay, that's actually quite cool, or that's, like you said, quite badass. That's actually quite, you know, badass doing that. Because there's clearly a rejection of something that is happening underneath, which you do not want to own. You cannot be in a body where this is the case, and you cannot even be in a body where you can't be in a body with it. We're that far out of it. So you acknowledging Glenda and saying, I think it's quite badass that you go online and say that you're the passive aggressive bully, because I felt in me a recognition of I am too, and since you are, we can be together. But that just as badass as Glenda. What is it that happens in you underneath the it's a lie? If you say, I love myself, what is happening in you underneath the it's a lie, I don't believe it, it's fake, it's just, you know, what is it that is, what is the felt experience? Not the thoughts about it, but what is happening in you? If you look at Debbie, where she's 4 years old, a picture of you from that time, can you recall a picture of you from that time?
I think I can. roughly, yeah, I think, you know, different little school pictures, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you recall that picture of you, how you looked at that picture, can you tell her that if you were next to her, then that you could look at her and go like, fuck, you're cute. I love you. You know? Your little peanut. Or does even that feel fake? If you can't
I think I'm
decide,
having a hard time because I don't want to admit that I feel that negative towards myself, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
it's
that's
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Right
you
now.
know,
Yeah. So which age did you have in the picture that you remembered?
I mean, maybe it was 5 or 6. I don't know. You know, I'm thinking it like it was a school picture, this little plaid dress and the bangs,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And even recalling that age in front of you and seeing that you're standing next to her, you can't say I love you to that child. It's fine if you can't. That is completely fine if you can't. Something is happening to your breathing.
I know, I'm like always blowing out, like just a, I don't know, just the anxiety or something, like trying to blow off the steam, you know, like it's like I have emphysema and I don't, you know what I mean? But I'm always trying to blow off that. Like I'm always walking around. I don't know. I don't know. Like when I was in a foster home, like this is way later, like 17, and I remember walking up the stairs to the room I shared with my foster sister and saying out loud, I hate myself, I hate myself, like actually saying that. And like I've learned to stop saying that, you know what I mean? And I want to, like, that responsibility question, like I really I apparently like I I want to orient towards good, right? To what's right. And I theoretically, I know there's no good or bad, but I want to
Debbie,
orient.
sweetheart, you're way too.
Yeah.
You need to slow down. You need to slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
For some
Okay.
people, love feels like abuse, and abuse feel like love. So for you, when you were 17, stumbling up the stairs, the closest you could come to any acknowledgement of you having an existence and you having a right to be there was, I hate myself. That was the closest. And in that, there's a connection with something. In that, there's a feeling with something. And you pretending, no, you not wanting to hate yourself. It's part of the whole that needs to be acknowledged. I'm not a proponent.
You know, the mirror.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. The mirror, you know, that bubble thing. And I've, you know, been like thinking about all this stuff, you know, and like I had this dream the other night, like where I was like, my mom's dead. She died 3 years ago. And but she was in it too. And I was like smashing something, like smash. I can't even remember what it was, but and I was like saying to like my father, like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And my mother was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, that's a little bit strong, isn't it? You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, but I remember that. And like, you know, that's the mirror, right? That's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, he wants to die so bad, he's so shut down. And there's no chance he'll ever see this. He's not on Wi-Fi and he's shut down. He's pushing us all away. And he's mad that, you know, my mother's gone. And then started to get over that, and then his dog died, and he just is, you know, us kids, like whatever, like he doesn't want us. I mean, last time I visited him, he was like, I wish people wouldn't visit me. So I can't do it anymore. Like I kept trying, but intermittently, but I can't. I don't think there's nothing that good comes out of it for either of us. So when he invites me down, when I am wanted, I will go down. You know, when he's on hospice and I can care for him, I will do that. But I have to be wanted, and I will not go down without an invitation. There has been no text, no. Even when I told my husband's in the hospital, did he answer me? No, he texted my husband. Like, I do fucking hate him. I do. And I know that means I hate myself. And I don't know what to do about that. And I know that this is something about this too much intensity. And I should maybe like focus on stuff with my husband, because like this is too big. I don't know. I don't know.
You need to slow down again. You need to slow down. It's way
Yeah, I
too
don't know
many
how.
things at the same time. Can
Yeah.
you be okay with your dad never acknowledging you and never showing that he loves you and never you know, reaching out?
I thought I was over this. I thought I was over this. I thought I was. You have to be okay, because I don't think it's gonna come.
It's not gonna come.
I don't think
It's not gonna come. It's not gonna come. And if it comes the way that he can do it. It doesn't come the way you want it.
Oh, I can be okay with that. I don't know how. I don't know how I'll ever stop being angry with him for not being able to see me. I chose not to have kids. People who have kids are brave. I chose not to, because I knew that both my parents really gave it their best. And they provided all the basic material things, like, and all that involves sacrificing the 3 square meals, the best of their ability. I know they did it all. And I just know, I knew they did their best. But I also knew I suffered. And I also knew I couldn't trust myself to do better. I could sense that I would just pass on that suffering.
Yeah.
So I chose not to. I chose not to.
But you're passing on the suffering to you. It's also we have that tendency to acknowledge parents and saying they did the best that they could, and by that you're minimizing the impact the trauma and the abuse had on you. Because a parent that is not showing up, the parents that has that I'm just working here attitude, you're getting food, you're getting clothes, what more do you want? That is it's a very specific type of neglect that is giving a trauma in a very, very specific way, because we feel that we're not entitled to say, you know, you fucking should have done better. We feel we're not entitled to that, because then we start to minimize the experience by saying, but they couldn't do it, and you know, and they did feed us, and you know, we were never sold to slavery. You know, it's like the lowest bar. You know, it's like the lowest bar. But when we do that, we have the focus, you know, kind of like from the outside in and not from the inside out. How it feels to be in you is utterly unloved, utterly unchosen. You know, you have never been chosen. Your dad is still not choosing you. It's not something new. He's never chosen you.
Oh,
You have never been number one on his list of choices. His choices in life were different because he's just not interested. Is that okay with you?
not quite yet. You know, like I just there's like there's a level of like violence in me that like that's where the passive aggressive is, because like I went and did this last visit,
Mm.
but really I was seething. Like I didn't show it much, but like in my fantasy, I'm like choking him and like and slapping him. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm that angry, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And I completely get how lonely it's been and how painful it's been. And that is what I would like for you to stay with. Can you be in a body where you were never chosen, where you were never told I love you, where you were never number one? The bar at being a parent stopped by putting food on the table and clothes on your body, and that was about it. That was about it. It didn't go any further than that. Can you be with you that is how it was, that was the fact, and trying to minimize that experience by saying, but they did the best they could. It's just minimizing your pain, and you're still not allowing yourself to stay with that pain. You can never ever expect your dad to show up when he never ever has shown up. Why would he suddenly change and become somebody else that he's not? You can't demand that of him. He doesn't have it in him. But you can have it towards you.
Mhm.
And it starts by you being right behind that 17-year-old that is stumbling up the stairs, shouting, I hate myself, I hate myself. You just being right behind her and going like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm right here. Hate yourself as much as you want. I got your back. Allowing that to be. Because if you start to do the toxic positivity and saying, I love myself, you will never ever get in contact with that part of Debbie that needs to be seen and acknowledged. Going like, you are a badass. You made it through all that. Fucking hell. Well done you. Well done you. And trying to paint it into a pink unicorn rainbow scenario with glitter on, that's just a fucking lie. It wasn't like that. And it will never ever be like that. And you made it through. So really owning that hate and that resentment. It's okay to be resentful. It's okay to hate your dad. It's okay to feel all that. Allow it to be there. And when you have allowed it to be there, allowed it to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, you remove the label of it, and then you just sit. Can I be in a body where this sensation that I have in my body right now, it's here, and you just allow it to be there, and it will change. It will change its shape. It will change the flavor. It will change everything. Because right now it's something you do not want to feel. It's something you're pushing away and trying for it not to be like that. And what we want you to do is really, really allow yourself to be with that. And that is when you're allowing the 17-year-old to stumbling up the stairs and saying, you know, I hate myself, and allowing her to be like that. And at some point you can start to have the sentence in, I matter. I matter. That anger you feel, it's valid. I see you. You know, the feeling of of loneliness, it's valid. I see you.
I will work with this. I thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for being honest about it, because this is the part that people are trying to bypass in all ways. And every single self-help book on the planet It's telling you not to feel into this. And we're sitting and going like, you rock on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allow it to be there. Whatever is there is there. And pretending that it's not is just lying.
Thank you for taking everything I can dish out. Okay, thank you.
We can
Thank
take
you.
even more, Debbie. Please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I think you should look in the chat
Yeah.
section. There are lots of messages for you there.
A lot of love for you.
Yeah, lots of love. We just wait a sec.
Mhm.
We just allow Debbie to sit and be sad. I can be with that. There's no rush with anything.
I just want to thank you, people. Okay, thank you, Suni. I know you're sad all the time. Thank you. Uh, mm. And thank you, Lisa, because I was kind of jealous of you, and I know I could never handle a silent retreat. I would never make it. I mean, not today, not today. You know what I mean? Not yet, not yet. Maybe next year.
Okay, honey, I've been through so much pain too. There's light at the other side. Just keep hanging in there, sweetheart.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, I want Lila to speak. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're not in any rush. We're not in any rush. You don't need to rush anything. We haven't got a backstop.
No.
And I completely hold space for you. All the pain and the anger and everything you feel, it's completely fine in me. I got the shoulders for that. You can't show me anything that is not okay with me, so it's completely fine. I hold all the space you need. Is that really, really knowing that you do not need to be any different?
Mm.
What is arising in the moment is completely fine. You don't need to be in a certain way. You don't need to do things in a certain way. And both of us are holding all the space for you. Whatever comes up is completely fine. We're here. You're not scaring us away with anything.
Mm-mm.
It's completely fine. And you're valid and you count. You matter.
I just keep coming back. I keep trying to go. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You don't have to apologize.
I, 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 thank you for your tolerance. Like, thank you. Like, when I was a teenager, before I finally got kicked out, like when we would fight, like I would always start to cry, right? And my father would be like, like there's a part like that gets it. Like he just really, there's so much sadness in him, he couldn't tolerate it, right? Because he would go, every time we try to talk, she always cries. Like he couldn't bear it. He couldn't bear it. So thank you for being able to bear it.
Absolutely.
Because I know I feel like I can be a bit much. You know what I mean? Like it can be a bit much.
But again, look into that. Look into that. What it is that you think that crying is too much.
Where's the bar?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
counts as too much?
How many tears is too much?
Yeah, like
How many milliliters are we talking about here?
Okay, that's 1 liter too many. But no, but like recognize that anytime you take on something like that, you're taking on somebody else's metrics of how you should be. You're trying to put yourself into somebody else's box. And
Yeah, what you think
what
is
you think is
somebody
somebody
else.
else's box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But if somebody says that every time, a person who cries is just too much on their own, and if you cry, well, then you must be wrong. There must be something wrong with you because you cry and the other person has a problem with that. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous to to try to make yourself live up to somebody else's expectations and then judge yourself for not being able to live up to somebody else's.
And
Arbitrary.
also be completely okay with Sunny crying. Sunny is allowed to cry, Debbie's not.
No.
So there's
I cry every time though, every time. Like it's just like it's sort of like a repetition, like every time. Like every time I talk to you guys, every time I try to talk.
Okay.
but then if that is part of how you express your feelings, that's how you express your feelings. Other people laugh, other people, do different things. It's just because you have been taught that crying is wrong that you think that there's something wrong with crying when you experience an emotion. There's not. It's only something you're telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely fine with other people crying when they are talking about their emotions and just being with it. But you're not okay with, so they are and you're not. What makes you so special?
Mm.
And it's just the different
Yeah.
ways, the different ways of experiencing emotions. Some people divert with anger, some people divert with eating, some people divert with scrolling on the phone, and everything is fine. It's just about knowing that, oh, now I'm crying again. There's something underneath that needs to be expressed. Okay, I'm just sitting with that. It was just because you were told, like Todd was talking about, your dad had an issue with that. So you took that on as a truth. It's not, it's his truth. It's clearly not yours. You're
No.
crying. He's not. So it's clearly not your truth.
Yeah. When I was 5 years old, that was the first time I ran away, right? And I didn't know like what I was gonna do. I had no plan or anything. I don't know. I just like walked down to the end of the street and I was trying to figure out like where south was because I was like, I gotta stay warm in the winter. And then like the neighbor came and got me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And then I was like telling her I was on the way, and she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "My parents don't love me." Like I was like 5, like
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the first attempt. But
Yeah.
all right, thank you. I definitely gonna work with this and
Yeah.
try to
I just,
feel what's underneath.
yeah. The last thing I just want to point at is that when you were 5, you knew that your parents didn't love you. You knew that. And now you're a bit older than 5 and you are still not loving you. So there's a part of you that is still unloved. And we are sitting and talking about this. It all started by you saying, I love myself sounds fake and feels fake, which means that even when you were 5, you did not know how it felt to be loved. So of course it feels fake. So you creating sentences that you couldn't eat doesn't even resonate with you when you were 5. How do you expect that to resonate with you now? So you need to create a sentence that you can. So it can be like, you're kind of sometimes okay. If that is the closest, that is the closest that you can go, if that is the closest you can go where it feels, okay, that one I can feel. I know that I kind of sometimes am okay. Okay, I can do that. So you just do as much as is possible where it feels authentic. And when you're angry and when you hate yourself, then allow that to be. It's just It's just something that comes up that we acknowledge is there. You don't need to add on to it. So when you do something and
Right.
you have the feeling, oh, right now I'm actually kind of a little bit okay, then just leave it there. You don't need to add on to it. When you feel that you hate yourself, just right now I hate myself. Okay, just leave it there. You don't need to add on to it. But just allowing whatever feeling comes up to be there. It's okay for it to be there. Can you be in a body where it's there? And then slowly you're expanding. So instead of it being very, very small right now, then you're slowly expanding yourself so everything is okay. And then you will be okay with hating yourself and being resentful and being, all the things that you feel, and also love yourself and also feel that you matter.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can you use your long arm and get Lila?
I can. Hey, Leila.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Todd and Pernille. Oh, very moved by Debbie.
Yes.
Can relate to so much. I was a crier when I was a kid too, and now I have a hard time crying. But yeah, and my family didn't cry. It was like it was never okay to cry. So, but and I was feeling sort of overwhelmed with what needs work. But something that came up during the thing this morning is sort of a place to start is I'm not welcome. I moved into a sort of an intentional community 16 years ago and just never felt welcome. And have always wanted out, but my husband really needs to be here because he's very introverted and there's a lot of support. So, and for him, but I knew coming in here that I have a tendency to try too hard and then get resentful when others don't, or when I don't feel acknowledged. I knew that coming in. And I wasn't going to do that. I was going to really try not to do that, but I couldn't help it. And then some years ago, I got the sense that things that happened when I was a little kid that made no sense, they suddenly dropped in. That my mom was pregnant with me before they were married. And they've always had massive judgment about kids born out of wedlock or women having sex with men before they're married. And so it occurred to me that it had to do with me or that they had a lot of shame about this, and that my paternal grandmother thought I was not her grandchild. I definitely was, but it doesn't matter. It's just that there was perhaps the sense that I just wasn't welcome in the family. But still, this being came in with lots of energy and enthusiasm and kind of joy, but never really felt accepted anywhere. Well, except for one place that's long gone, and it was a brief period of time. But it's always this ideal that I wish I had that community again. So I guess starting with inquiry into I'm not welcome, is that a place to start?
Well, I would maybe. The first thing I would like to say is that that is completely. It's just an assumption that you're not welcome. It wasn't about you. Your parents felt so shameful for have had sex out of wedlock. and your paternal grandmother felt completely refused that her son could be one of those that had sex out of wedlock. And
Possibly.
your parents spent the rest of their lives convincing other people how wrong it is to have sex out of wedlock. They didn't. They hadn't that. Don't look at us. The ones over there, they shouldn't have sex out of wedlock. They shouldn't have children out. Don't look this way. Not this way. Those over there. It's not about you. It's never ever been about you.
Mhm.
It's their shame, and it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how you have turned it into you not being welcome.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of how, because obviously there's a storyline that's been created here about you not being the welcome one, and then because there's something wrong with you, because originally there was the shame element of you just appearing through immaculate conception, and something just happenstance, but then beyond that, then there was something where you're creating this story out of, okay, so there was a situation where you felt unwelcome in a situation because you felt like you were too much. These things that they being resentful, the things that you've brought up, but all of these perhaps instances, if these things happened the way that you remember them happening, have been sort of tied together with this net of story about you just being an unwelcome person. You're like chronically unwelcome. So can we decouple that storyline from it and see what has actually been there? What is, when you go back to that idea that I wasn't wanted, and then that, as a child, and then that has carried through my whole life, without that as being your primary story that you're coming in with, what are these other instances on their own? What do they have to do with anything? So like where you are now, wanting to leave because there's something about this intentional community that you don't feel right in. What actually is it that's happening in that situation if we're not going back to that old storyline about you just being an unwantable person? What's happening?
I don't want to make a big commitment. I don't want to do all the things that I should do. I don't know. It's the energy, enthusiasm that I originally brought. It just seems like it met with a lot of no. And there was initially, when at move-in, there was a lot of no, even afterwards. And I have seen other people beat down by all of the no. You can't do this, you can't do that. So there's
why do you feel that as a rejection of you?
Yeah, wondering it.
well, I'm yeah, there are a couple of guys who are extremely reactive. I can see that they are reactive. They're reactive to other women too. That's them, but still it hurts.
Yeah, why?
Well, all the other times in life when I felt rejected.
But yeah, I'm sorry that I'm on your case, and if I'm too much, please just let me know.
No, go ahead.
But the scenario that I see copy pasted is that mom and dad had sex out of marriage. That is super shameful. They feel a lot of shame about it. So you grow up with a family saying, we didn't do that. They shouldn't do it. Look at that. Don't look here. Look over there. They shouldn't have sex at all. So you create a story about, I am not welcome. That's a story you create based on their truth. So now what you do is that you go into a community, you're convinced that you're not welcome. So you do so many things. Okay, I think that we should have neon signs over every single house, and we should eat strawberries on every Wednesday. And you just do that for them to make so they really see how amazing you are. So they really, really want to welcome you. So it's not about, it's the same diversion technique, you know. I don't feel welcome. I don't look this way. See how welcome I am. See how much, you know, you love me. See how useful I am in this community. All of us are now having strawberries on Wednesdays. It's amazing. We all love it. And when somebody goes like, I don't want to have strawberries on Wednesday, your entire world crumbles, because that means they do not want me. It means that I'm not wanted, that they don't love me, that I'm not accepted, I'm too much. And it's all of it is just, it's kind of like a fata morgana that we are creating to avoid feeling, you know, not welcome. Can you enter the community, have the feeling, I have a feeling about not being welcome, that is my feeling, so now I'm not going to project that over in other people. I'm just staying with the feeling that I have. And when I suggest we have strawberries on Wednesday and everybody says, no, we don't want to do that, it's because they don't want strawberries on Wednesdays. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with that being my suggestion. It's got nothing to do with me being a woman. It's got nothing to do with anything. They just don't want strawberries on Wednesdays.
Can I ask a follow-up too?
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to see, because I know, like, I think I had heard something differently than the way you had heard
Okay,
it, and
go
I
on,
just
go
want to
on.
make sure
Yeah.
like which one. So because when you said you first got there and there were lots of no's, was it that you were suggesting things and everybody was saying no to your suggestions, or was it an internal no to doing things the way that they wanted you to do?
Oh, it was no's to my suggestions, but I noticed there were no's to other people too. There was just a general no, lack of trust with all these people moving in together.
Lack of trust is again an assumption.
Mhm.
So again, write that down. Lack of trust. Write it down, and then see how many times in the next week that you have an issue about lack of trust. Either you not trusting you, or you seeing that other people are not trusting. All of that is just a reflection of your bubble. But it is an assumption. Just like I'm not welcome, write it down. That's an assumption. You don't welcome you. Because what is a community and people saying no. That's it. There's no because. They say no because that doesn't exist. They just say no. So it's not because you're too much. Everything after the because you just remove. It's just a no. I heard something else, and I don't know if it's too much to bring it in. It's the part about you moving there with your husband and saying that he really needs it. Do you feel that he kind of owe you something for being there for him in a community that you don't want to live in, but you do it for him? Is there any resentment in a decision made there?
I'm the one who wanted to come here. We made an agreement that if he hated it, we'd move after 5 years. But I'm the one who ended up not liking it. And though I've tried over and over, you know, I want to move, and then I try again, and then I want to move, and okay, I got a little bit lost. I yeah, I what was the question?
Yeah. What is perfect about you living there?
What is perfect?
Yeah, what is the opportunity with you living there?
What's perfect is I know all my neighbors, and I do like them. I love them. We live next to a park with a big natural area, lots of places to walk. we moved into a house that's much smaller, and the house is not perfect, but it looks out on nature, and that's perfect. And the bedroom looks out on a little forested area, and I sleep better than I've ever slept in my whole life. And that's perfect.
So what is the
And
opportunity? What is the
what's the-
opportunity? What is it that you can experience when you're there that you wouldn't experience if you moved? It's
oh,
usually
probably.
things, yeah, it's usually things that all the things that you don't want about the community, write all of it down. Because every single thing has an opportunity for you to become aware of that you would not become aware of. And that's why you want to move. You want to move so these things will stop in your life. But if they stop, you will miss the opportunity of
Mhm.
realizing an insight.
Yes.
So the exercise I would like for you to do
Mhm.
until next time is write down all the reasons why you want to move and what is the insight if you stay.
Okay. Sounds great.
I'm looking forward to the list.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rita, welcome. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're,
I didn't understand how to get my view on,
your
so you
audio,
can't see me.
your audio is a little.
You can't hear me?
Okay, it's getting better. It was a little
Can you hear
difficult
me?
to begin with. We're okay right now. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say hi.
I'm glad you were able to make it.
I'm sorry you can't see me.
That's okay.
I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah.
I'm actually crying inside. It's been, it hit me real hard. I don't remember her name.
Was it
Yeah.
Debbie?
So
Which part was it
yeah.
that hit you? Which part?
In me,
Yes.
the admitting how much I actually despise myself, and finally not talking myself out of it.
Yeah.
Layers of layers.
Yes.
Yeah. From being a child, misunderstanding,
Yes.
and now being a mom and a grandma,
Yeah.
but still misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Seeing everyone from this look. Yeah.
It is so useful to admit what is there and not trying to change it or make it look better or lie about it in any way, but just allowing it to be and not trying to to minimize or anything, but just what is there and just creating space for that. Can I be in a body where I really despise myself? And you're not adding on to it, you're just holding that space where this is real, this is what is alive in me right now, and I'm just allowing that to be. It's so healing.
Yeah. Is it? And choking
Yeah.
and kind of freeing
Yeah.
in some sense, but it's like this war has been going inside me
Yeah.
forever and ever, and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it possible?
And
Have you done the curriculum? Do you have the material where you
yeah, I've
yeah where
I've
you
been
look into
I've
it?
been
Wait,
watching a lot of it,
pardon?
and I've been watching a lot of it over and over, and it made me angry, and then I laughed because it's like I can jump
Yeah.
from where I look at it. So some days it's really impersonal, I think, and I have this overview. But then, like now, when I get in touch with this point where I can see all my actions, everything I do for my daughter, is coming from this wrong place of don't leave me, and I can see my trauma is her trauma,
Mm.
and it's moved on to my grandson,
Yeah.
and I can see back through my mother, and it's like it's like amazing to see, and still it is a lot to see things clear,
Yeah.
and also realize that it's it could be avoided so easily if we just talked.
Yeah. And it's also just
If I
that
just
really
stop lying.
yeah, and it's also really realizing that nothing has changed. It's not that you all of a sudden despise yourself, and it's not that all of this all of a sudden is here. It's been there all along.
No.
You're just
Yeah.
acknowledging that it's there, and the moment you acknowledge it,
It's a
exactly.
part.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's not all of me, but it's a part of me in relations to others,
Yeah.
and also with me, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, when I'm in nature,
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
it's like when I'm outside in nature, and I had this 3 weeks after LU. I can't understand it. It went so quick. It was like boom, and I was through this gate, and then there were 3 weeks, and I couldn't think. It's just like my it stopped, and I just looked, and I live in Bergen, and the sun was shining. It didn't rain. uh, I lived in, these things you take up on a tree. So I slept outside by myself, and I just felt like this god-like sacred love, and whoa, I kind of lost it when I started thinking, when I got online again, when I met people. And but it's there, and it's, I don't know why I choose this pain, actually. It's like, if I don't get forgiveness, I can't. It's not easy to forgive myself.
Mm.
You know, I have a
Ask what you want to ask.
I was waiting for her to finish the next.
I have a son,
Sorry.
and he's 20. I got a son.
Hmm.
He's 24, and I haven't seen him in nine years.
Why is that?
I lied, and it's an unbelievable day, but I lost my boyfriend in a fire, and I got admitted to a psychiatric ward.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he was under 18, so he was yeah,
Hmm.
he was living with his aunt, and all my lies was disguised.
All your what was
And
disguised? Did you say your lies? Did you say?
no, I couldn't lie anymore. Everything unraveled. Everything. You know, like you build a construction, and it's can't hold,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I know it's been bad, so I get it. In a sense, I came to a point that as long as he's okay,
Hmm.
you know. But I do a part of me, a part of me just want to say, can't you forgive me? Just forgive me.
It's really difficult
Mm.
because your audio is splitting up, so it's difficult to understand. I understood the last
Yeah,
part.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
No,
understood.
I just, yeah.
Yeah, I understood the last part where you want your son to forgive you.
Hmm.
And I think that is a really good one to work with. Really seeing that he's not supposed to.
No, he's not.
He's not, so he's if he
He's
feels,
not.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
really not.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But also know it in a way where you don't hold it against you.
Hmm.
Because you holding it against you and feeling even more guilt and shame,
Hmm.
it's not helping anything.
No, it's more.
No, how can I part that from forgiving me? Because I feel like it's so connected. Or is it just a decision I made? I don't know.
I didn't hear
Because I
the
don't
first part of
want
that.
him to forgive me. I don't want him to forgive me. I
Exactly.
want him to be good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
That's most important thing. Hmm?
Is it okay for you to forgive you though?
That's the that's the question I've been asking myself lately.
Yeah.
Am I allowing myself? I'm not sure because I don't know what then.
What would be then? I mean, if you didn't, what would be the ramification of you not holding on to this self anger and self hatred for the
And
rest of your
guilt and
life, and the
shame.
guilt and shame for the rest of your life?
Who am I?
Who are
Oh,
you? Did you say?
yeah.
Because you've been defined by
Yeah,
the
it's like
guilt.
yeah, it's like it's been well, I can give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that looking for that forgiveness, and even I hear you say that you don't want the forgiveness from your son. You just want him to be good and healthy
Be
and
okay, yeah.
be okay. Um, but underneath that, I really think that the idea of even the fact that you bring up forgiveness in relation to him is indicating that there is this lack of forgiveness for yourself.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
there some of this comes with the recognition that you couldn't have done differently than you did, and
Mm.
having that not as a belief that you take on and just kind of use it as a band-aid over the wound,
Mm.
but as you're doing this kind of work, and as we're like when you went through LU and you had those few weeks of there being nothing there. You're through the
Yeah.
gate, everything seemed really sacred and beautiful, and you were in tune with nature and everything was lovely.
Yeah.
It wasn't that you lost it after that. Sounds
No,
like
I
a
chose it.
it sounds like the honeymoon
I
period.
fucking chose it.
Well, okay, but that alone is actually the idea that you chose something is itself pointing back to
A self.
the sense of self which had been temporarily
Yeah, a self.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it yeah. So
Why? Why
right.
fuck you?
But what was so
No.
clear, right? No, what was so clearly not there and not believed in for 3 weeks just started being believed in again. And it was
Fuck.
convenient, right?
Why? Yeah, but
Because I mean that has been I don't know exactly how old you are, but it has been the case for
yeah,
your entire
50.
life. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was the case for 50 years that everything has been related back to Arita, back to this one who has been doing everything, making choices, feeling guilty for decisions, feeling like you have done the wrong things in life, have
Been
and all of that. And so then you get
should
a
have been
reprieve.
born.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
fuck.
Yeah, and so you get a reprieve.
And it's not true.
No, no, not at
Yeah, it's not
all.
true.
No, but you got a reprieve for a few weeks,
No.
which seemed really blissful because you had a reprieve from that false belief in a you. And then when those thoughts
Yeah.
came back in, it felt like all of a sudden you were back. But what you experienced in those 3 weeks, that openness where everything was just flowing as it is, beautiful, unencumbered, just as it was, is what's always there. And it's what's there right now. If you're not attached to the thoughts and the narratives and the guilt and all of that stuff that you have been putting on yourself or buying into for all of these years and creating that sense of self out of. And so the only thing standing in
Yeah.
between the experience of those 3 weeks and now are those extra beliefs in those emotions, those feelings of guilt and shame and all the storylines of how you did something wrong and could have
That's
done
quite a
otherwise.
strong force.
Mm.
It is. Yeah, it's a It's a habit that has been going on, and it's
because
been
I
a
don't want
pressured
it.
habit.
I mean,
Sorry?
huh?
Because what? I didn't hear what you said.
No, it's just it's not that I just chose to come back. How? Or did I?
You didn't choose anything. It was just the force of habits. It's like if you have a
Yeah, force of
giant
habit.
boulder, if a giant boulder is
Yeah, I
rolling
can't choose
downhill.
anything.
No, if a giant boulder is rolling
Oh,
downhill, 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 and eventually it bumps into a rock that's there and is maybe enough to like give it pause for a bit, but the momentum was still there. It's still a big rock and it's still on a downhill slide. So if something comes along and it bumps
yeah.
that rock out of the way, the boulder's just going to keep it slide back down again. And so you had that brief stop where the boulder had stopped its momentum, things had ended, but then whatever
Yeah,
it was came back in, and then the old pattern just immediately took over and the boulder continued down the hill. And the boulder is still going until those
yeah,
moments where you can stop it and you can put in that pause and stop the boulder and recognize that everything is just still. There is no movement there. There is no narrative trajectory of a boulder going down a hill. There's just a boulder perched on a hill. And then we create something more out of it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stop that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that story is
Stop
the
lying.
underlies everything. All of the pain is caused by that
Oh,
story.
yeah.
And
Thank you.
that also allows your son not to forgive you.
Yeah.
It allows him to
Yeah.
be to do what he needs to do and be in the world the way that he needs to be, just like you are allowing you to be, you know?
Yeah.
It goes back to the same thing that
Yeah.
to Suni about
Because I
and
really bring
about.
him pain. Although I know your pain is him.
Sorry? I didn't hear you. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, no, I know just sending him a text message, it brings him pain. I can feel it. So I
Mm,
stop.
yeah.
I just know. I need. I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah. Yeah, I need to stop
yeah.
this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can. You've done it before. It's happened in the
Yeah.
past, so you know it's possible.
Yeah, and it's a
You
new
know?
day.
It is. Every moment is a new
It's a new
moment.
day.
And it's
Yeah.
a new moment fresh without the
Yeah.
storylines and the memories
Yeah,
of the
just so
moments that came
fresh. Yeah,
before.
I remember now. Just like, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is fresh if we don't add a storyline to it. You know, when we you can
Yeah, just get
experience.
out of that box.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking around the room wherever you are right now, you can see an item that you have probably seen every day for years, and you don't even notice that it's there in the room anymore. But if you all of a sudden just wake up to what it is and observe it just as it is in its raw experience, you're going to see something completely fresh that you haven't seen in so many years since you bought the item or it was given to you or whatever else. It's just we relate to everything through post-its, through
Mm,
labels. We just it's a very easy way of going about life. And unfortunately, we not only do that with coffee mugs and coffee tables and chairs and things like that, but we do it with all of the way that we consider ourselves and the other people in our lives and all of the emotions and the stories and all of that. They're just instantly put back on because it makes it so much easier to navigate the world if you have a story to and an easy concept to go through and you don't have to really observe and experience life, you know, as it's coming at you with the uncertainty that, you know, we talked to Lisa about. There can be a sense of fear about giving up that knowing of what things are, that feeling that like I know
Yeah.
the place for everything in the house, I know what everything is. There's a certain security with that. And then when you really recognize that I don't know what the fuck any of this is,
mm,
that can be really disturbing and really disorienting and scary for people. And so that's why you do
and
it.
quite liberating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
It can be quite
absolutely,
good.
absolutely. But even
Yeah.
uncomfortable stories like
I
that,
mean, sometimes
miserable.
my life is so scary. I'm ready for woof. Yeah.
We
Well,
just,
thank you. You used
yeah.
a lot of your time.
No, it's always it's a pleasure. Hopefully next time you're here, the Wi-Fi or whatever will be sorted out and we'll have a better connection. We'll be able to see you and hear you
Yeah.
properly.
It's not my machine, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look
Yeah.
forward to that.
Bye.
But I'm glad you can make it though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Glad I'm here, and thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Good having
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. All right. Does
The mobile pin as well.
okay.
It's over there. I'm sitting up pointing at the screen.
It's there. It's on the computer.
It's on the
It's on the
It's
computer.
right there.
It's right there. All right. Well, if there's nothing else,
Does anybody else have a question? It's been really, really enjoyable.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, guys. It's been so good.
really,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. So much love to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so this week we have the inquiry today, and then next week it's the Q&A on Friday. So I'm just so grateful to see all of you here and for all of your processes and everything you have shared. It's been absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Is that it?
I think so.
Yeah. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you to my
Thank
favorite
you.
badasses. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Leona.
Bye.
And thank you, Leela. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Leela, your stuff.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for helping with everything.
Bye.
Bye.